Hey guys, and this video is going to be about the Lexus ES300h. They came from 2019 and now 2022 I got the newest model with a touch screen and bigger screen. Everything else is really the same car. And so I just want to mention a couple of features that I really like about this car. Something that maybe I would love in the future if there's something like that. But yeah, the best features usually for me is the cruise control, because you can just relax both feet and just be completely relaxed. So what I like about this one, it has a radar cruise control and it follows the car in the traffic. It even keeps the lane in the traffic or anywhere, just if there are two good lines, it will just observe them with the camera and start tracking them. So it's assisted steering as well. So it's not 100% perfect. It's good on motorways, but once you're on twisty roads, sometimes it gets a little confused. So I wouldn't rely on it completely, like, oh, it's gonna drive you. But it's a nice little touch on those very long journeys when the road just goes kind of a bit boring and it just kind of continues in not much degrees of change of angles. And so you can just relax while you drive and not to worry about the traffic. So it makes the even heavy motorways much more enjoyable. And also it has a scanner for the speed on the streets. So it basically tells you by looking at the road, if there's a sign saying it's 80 or it's 100, it tells you the speed limit has changed, which is really cool. And I find this in Northern Ireland. I was going to Donegal, and as I was going through Northern Ireland, it will automatically tell me that you're in Northern Ireland in UK. And now when the max speed limits, instead of translating for myself like what is 30 miles per hour or what is 50, you basically recall your you set your cruise control, and then when I touch up and hold or down and hold, it just goes to that max speed limit. So actually it let me know exactly how many kilometers an hour it is in miles. So that was very handy. I was surprised nicely. And then so when it's following the car and it has radar cruise control, it stops fully following the car, keeping safe distance. It's actually really remarkable how they did it, because sometimes actually going to the traffic, and instead of just modulating the brakes just to get the smooth landing and recharging the batteries as well from the braking, and basically it does it automatically very smoothly, so you can just relax. So if you're tired after the long day and you're going home, it's actually a really nice feature just to follow some car and it just drives so smoothly. There's no gear, it just adjusts its own gear on the fly, on the go. And if you want more revs, so I'll show you now. I push the throttle, and just hits a lot of revs. Electric 40 brake horsepower added electric motor helps, so it actually gives pretty good torque. It actually gives the nice kick out of it, and it's front wheel drive, so I understand now that Lexus really wanted to make it as safe. I'd say if you have someone on a wet road with 218 brake horsepower, it's a 1700 kilo car plus fuel, and if you have two passengers, that's minimum 2 tons. So for 2 tons, it's actually pretty decent fuel economy. So I'm driving over a month, on maybe 1.5 months now, and I'm averaging 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers. I had it for 5.4 for a while when I was going like a snail, but now I'm driving normally. Mostly cruise control, but sometimes I push it a little bit, and I'm still averaging in that whole month 5.8, which is pretty good for petrol engine, 2.5 liter Atkinson cycle engine, and it's a big heavy car. So yeah, really nice, well done, Lexus Toyota. It's actually pretty much Toyota Camry, but with extras, and styling is different. Even the interior, they have special team of designers for the interior. So you know, they really make nice lines, something which is stylish. So I was pretty amazed with this car. Originally I wanted to buy the older one, the ES300h from maybe 2015 or 16 for much less money, but then once I tried this one, I'm like, I must have it, and I really fell in love with it. And yeah, so no regrets, really good car. So next thing, heated seats, automated as well, and automated aircon and automated wipers. You can just basically set how quickly, even if automation gives you certain mode and certain speed, you have 4 positions to make it either slower or faster. So really plenty of modification for that, and very convenient. Very happy with it. The aircon, it has this Nano EX, I think it's from Panasonic. It's aircon with, it's air purifier, so it's ionized air, and it's really lovely actually. It smells, it feels very fresh. So before, when I had different cars and I had the aircon, it felt kind of freezing cold and kind of artificial. I don't know, somehow these guys made it really nice. It smells and feels really good. And yeah, very kind of non-invasive kind of aircon, so it kind of spreads around you. It knows who is sitting where on which seat, and based on that it modifies which of these openings for the aircon is actually blowing the air, so to make you as a driver or passengers to have that without sort of diluting all of that to the whole car. So that's really nice touch. Automatically it's closing the circulation. So let's say if you go behind a bus or some kind of dirty diesel and you see this black smoke, so it has sensor, and just basically it stops that air coming in, and so it just makes your driving much more comfortable, because everything is sort of like thought after, looked after. So yeah, that's really nice. What it could have, so it has a sunroof as a basic standard feature, so that's nice too. What it could have, well, when you're reversing, for example, and you go onto traffic and there's a car going, it stops your car, literally hits the brakes and stops you. It has sensors, and basically, even if there's pedestrian or cyclist, it does the same. It stops if it detects someone. But when you're reversing and I hit the wall, I must say I had a little touch that needed to be fixed. I was first time with the reversing camera, and that ultra wide lens kind of made me feel I have more space than I had, and I thought like, oh, this is such a high-tech car, it will basically prevent me from hitting the wall. So I was very wrong. I touched the wall, and basically what I think the car should have is that if it knows that it's gonna hit the wall, stop the car, you know, come on. So Lexus, please. And the next thing, which would be cool, would be massage seats. I think that's kind of it. But otherwise, very smooth driving. And there is the steering assist that is quite nice. It kind of tracks the road, and based on that, it knows you should be turning right, and so it kind of gives you support for the steering, but very lightly, very kind of gently. So it kind of guides you where you should be going. It's kind of the path of the least resistance in the wheel, so that's kind of nice. If it knows you're crossing the lanes, for example, it kind of pushes you a little bit, but if it annoys you, you can completely switch it off and you have it fully in your hands. I find it actually quite nice. The very rare situations when I have to kind of in a nice, very narrow traffic, and I have to, for example, just avoid a pothole or something. So, but once it knows you pushing yourself there a little bit, it doesn't fight you back, so it's actually quite okay. So really good cruiser, very comfortable. Boot is big enough. I think it's 460 liters in it, and you cannot fold the back seats, so you cannot go to the IKEA for big objects. You better ask somebody with a proper boot to do that. But otherwise, you know, like I don't really use it that much. Maybe once in 2 years or 1 year that I actually have to carry, but you know, always can ask someone to help you with something or get delivery. And except that, seats very comfortable. Driver and passenger, both of them have adjustable seats, fully adjustable, not just driver. That's kind of nice too. And again, if this car was a Mercedes E-Class, if it was equipped like this one on a basic, I heard from a sales guy that it was 30,000 euro more expensive for the same standard features. So to catch up with this one, so I think they pumped a lot of value for the price of the car. And yeah, so many of these reviewers were saying how this car feels more like $100,000 car, not the half of it, you know. So that's really nice touch. So anyway, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just, you can pretty much drive it with one hand and fingers here just for cruise control. But again, it has a sport mode and eco mode. Eco mode gives you like very slow, gradual, progressive throttle, and sporty one just keeps a little more revs up in the engine, just so you can basically accelerate more readily. And so yeah, that's about it. So going to take some fuel and do another 700